got a jam-packed show for you today on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. You got Chat Sports host Allie Barefoot here, and here's a little rundown about what we're going to be going through here on today's show. The Patriots free agent targets after I think personally they dominated the 2024 NFL Draft, picking up 7 out of 8 picks being on offense. We're really going to hone in on the free agents on defense towards the back half of this show. Plus the current roster sitting at 89 players, and the Patriots are looking about to have at least $50 million in cap space. So obviously they're going to have a lot of fun room to move around and see what they can bring to the New England Patriots roster here for the upcoming NFL season. So with that being said, like I mentioned, Eliot Wolf dominated the NFL draft when it comes to the offensive side for the roster needs, but they do still need to address the offensive tackle. We're going to break down their draft picks, but also some free agents that could fill that role if the competition gets a little too heavy. And then I said earlier on the back half of the show, cornerback and safety. We're going to break that down here too. But first things first, the more shares we get is the more Patriots videos we can put out. Go ahead and send this to somebody who you know is a diehard New England fan who's been telling you time and time again they need to add more resources on the defensive side of the ball, and they got to address that offensive tackle. I know there's somebody you know that's been talking your ear off about this. Send this video to them. Send it to your grandma. Make her an account. Do whatever you have to. Get this video out there. Help us help you. All right, let's break down some of the top free agent targets here coming off hot with the offensive tackle, DJ Humphries. Humphries is a pretty interesting player here because he's only played for one organization in his time in the NFL. He played with the Cardinals from 2015 to 2023, where he was recently released just months ago. And the big kicker here is that the left tackle position is still a question mark for the New England Patriots, and I do understand that Humphries could be a little bit of a question mark as he did just recently tear his ACL last season, and of course being multiple years deep in the NFL, I see why an ACL tear would be a little bit scary. But when you look at the offensive line depth chart here for the New England Patriots, of course you just drafted Caden Wallace. You of course still have Chucky there towards the right side of the offensive line, but the number one thing is you need to protect the blind side first and foremost, whether that be Drake Maye, whether that be a quarterback competition coming up here in the New England Patriots. But when you look at somebody like DJ Humphries, obviously you're going to be getting a veteran here, which I love. His overall grade, 62.5 from PFF. His pass blocking grade, 68.4. That run block there a little bit shorter at 56.5. He allowed 4 sacks last season, which is not bad. And you got to remember, he did tear his ACL in the middle of that season, and then he did draw 9 penalties. A little bit too high for my liking, but, you know, I get it. You got to play a lot of games. A lot of things are going to happen. I think the number one question that you're going to have to address here going into the offseason is whether or not you trust the rookie, Caden Wallace, who has played primarily right tackle, to make that switch over there to the left side, or Chucky to also fill that role, who has been okay at right tackle here for the New England Patriots. But when you're going to have somebody like Humphries coming in with all that experience, only under one organization as well, proving he can be a viable asset year after year, and I do think overall they did cut him because of that injury, I think this could be a really good pickup just to add a little bit more room to that depth chart and a little bit more competition. So with that being said, do you think the Patriots should sign a left tackle, primarily a left tackle? I understand they do have a lot of depth there in that O-line. They can move some people around, but I'm looking at this guy knows what he's doing. He's been there, done that. Do you want them to sign a left tackle? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let's head on over to the defensive side of the ball here, shall we? Adoree Jackson, a cornerback that is also with the free agent market right now. Taking a look over at what Adoree Jackson could be bringing to the secondary here for the Patriots. He had 63 tackles. He had 8 pass breakups, which I always love. Only 1 interception, but I get it. It's the Professional Football League. 1 forced fumble, and his PFF gave him an overall grade of 48.6. We're going to take a look here at the cornerback depth chart and why Jackson could be an asset here to the New England Patriots is the fact that I do understand that you've got Christian Gonzalez still there at CB2. However, you just really don't know what these players are going to be able to produce because obviously Gonzalez, who had high hopes, did get injured. So now you're going to have a lot of question marks just around the depth chart about what they're going to be able to do here in this upcoming season, which is why I think adding another cornerback here to this depth chart could at least provide a little bit more competition, could at least see what else is out there, because while you're not 100% sure that Christian Gonzalez and Jonathan Jones are going to be good at that cornerback position duo, it's a question mark just like everybody else, which is why bringing in somebody maybe even just for this recent offseason, signing that free agency, if he ends up not making that 53-man overall roster, we'll get to that a little bit later. But overall, Adoree Jackson is still one of the top cornerbacks in that free agent market that could make a splash pretty early. And with that being said, another cornerback that could also make a really big splash here in New England, you're going to be looking at Stephon Gilmore. I know you guys know all about Gilmore, so I'm not going to dive that deep into him. But overall, I talked to Nick Roloff, who you guys see time and time again here on Patriots Today, and I'd love him returning the New England Patriots. I really do. I think he's still got some gas left in the tank. We obviously know what he can do. When you're going to be bringing a guy back to the Patriots, it means you've already had and seen him in real time, so you're going to be able to really break down what Gilmore can do here. And last year, he made 68 tackles, 13 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And I was reading a couple articles about whether or not Gilmore would be willing to come back to the New England Patriots, and he said he's completely open to it. He's also open to returning to the Dallas Cowboys, so that's still a question mark as to where he would like to go. But like I said, when you've had a guy that's already been in the system, I think you can never go wrong with bringing him back. He understands how the organization works. Obviously, we've got a new organization to kind of build off of here, no more Belichick. But an underrated note here about Gilmore is that you can always kind of overpay one of the older guys just to come in and do the work that you need to be done while you allow the other guys to grow in that area right now, especially with somebody like Gonzalez, where you're just not sure what he's able to produce for a full season in the NFL. So I'm on board with it. I don't see a reason why not. Bringing on a veteran, bringing on somebody who knows your system, I'm all for it. But I want you guys to go on ahead and be all in here with us as well. Join the channel. Join us here. Hit that subscribe button for daily video on the Patriots, whatever they do in free agency, whatever they're going to do in training camp in this offseason this summer. We're going to have you guys covered. Daily videos here for free. Not to mention, hit that sub button for me. You're not going to be disappointed. More free agent targets. Oh, my God. Welcome to the offseason, everybody. Another cornerback here. We're talking about J.C. Jackson. Now, I do know the Patriots did say that they would be willing to have J.C. Jackson come on back, see what he can produce for another year for the Patriots, which is definitely a plus. You know he knows the system. You know he's been there before. But I will be honest, he had a bit of a rough go of it in 2023. Of course, with J.C. Jackson, he was benched during Week 10 when he was going up against the Indianapolis Colts because he broke the curfew. So obviously that had a little bit of frustration with Jackson in the front office. And then he missed the final 4 games because his agent has said he was dealing with some mental health issues. So obviously Jackson's got some baggage to go along with it. But if you want somebody that can come in and make an impact, if he has all of his ducks in a row in this free agency, I wouldn't be opposed to it, bringing him back, seeing what he could do, seeing how he's developed in this offseason ahead of the 2024 NFL regular season. But we're going to be breaking down 2 more targets here for you guys, but I got to make sure you have the freshest gear in New England. I got to make sure you're ready for when they do come to Foxborough, you are dressed in drip. And I'm talking about Drake Maye drip as well. Ignore the number 1. We're just giving you prototypes about how great you can look rocking these jerseys. I love jerseys. I love wearing them over the hoodies. I know it's going to be really cold up there when football season does roll around. So he's going to be wearing number 10, but you can still get it in the red. You can still get it in the blue. Drake Maye is going to be a legend for the New England Patriots. I'm stamping it right now, and I want to make sure you have a jersey for that when they are sold for millions of dollars in 30 years from now when he's all retired and said and done. I want you guys to be able to have the jersey in his rookie season. Go to chatsports.com/MayeJersey and get yourself the freshest strip here for the recent draft pick for the New England Patriots. Quarterback out of ACC is about to make a splash in New England. I want you guys to be able to rep him wearing that number 10 this regular season. Justin Simmons. We're going to be talking more about the safety position with these last 2 free agent targets here. And I do think Simmons is a really underrated safety right now in the free agency that they can go on ahead and grab right now. I think you're getting an overall really good athlete to come to this depth chart. And there is no secret that in that depth chart, adding on a third safety would be really, really nice to have in this room. Once again, you only have 2 safeties right now. One goes down, you're going to be really screwed heading into this offseason. So I think that you can really develop him, along with still having a lot of good resources in his bag, would be a really good pickup here for the New England Patriots, because you're looking at Peppers and you're looking at Duggar. That's what your Patriots depth chart is looking like right now. Of course, you got some strong safeties. You got your free safeties in there as well. He falls more into the free safety category when you're looking at it. I do think that having Simmons on this depth chart is going to really solve a lot of things for the New England Patriots here. I think Simmons would be a great fit here in this depth chart, because really right now you're looking at Duggar and you're looking at Peppers to really be able to provide you with the most snaps here. And when you look at Simmons, of course, you've got strong safeties and other free safeties here for the Patriots, but Simmons is going to fall mainly in that free safety category. That's where he took the most snaps last year with the Broncos. I mean, this guy is a Pro Bowler. This guy still has the accolades, and he's still a very deadly in the secondary while right now entering free agency. So why you sign a safety to the roster right now is because getting a third safety is going to allow Duggar, and it's going to allow Peppers to be able to do their thing. Plus, with Peppers, in this final year of the contract, you can start to build for the future years, and having a guy like this in free agency is somebody that I would probably jump on right now if I was Eliot. So 70 tackles last year for the Broncos. He had 2 tackles for loss, 8 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. I mean, this guy was headhunting last year, and 2 forced fumbles. So like I said, he got primarily most of his snaps with the Broncos from free safety, but obviously he's still putting up numbers as a starting safety would for any other roster right now. But because he's in free agency, if I was the New England Patriots, knowing I wanted to add at least one more player on there, I definitely really target Simmons primarily here if I'm going to be in the front office. But hey, that's just my opinion. The reason why we have Patriots Today by Chat Sports, that I give my opinion, I show you guys some stats, then you guys tell me your opinion down below. Name a free agent the Patriots should sign this offseason. While you guys are dropping that comment down below, we have one more free agent target we want to bring up to you guys, and that's going to be Marcus Maye, coming out of Louisiana, recently playing for the New England. Look at me. The New Orleans Saints. Look at what Marcus Maye did here last year for the Saints. Of course, he dealt with some injuries, so he didn't get to play that full season, but 37 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. He did have a sack in there, which is always great. 2 interceptions and 2 pass breakups. Personally, I just think that Marcus Maye just got outshined by a rookie in the Saints organization. And while Marcus Maye is kind of on the decline, I would say, of his time in the NFL, he's still somebody that can help in limited fashion, especially when you're trying to decide whether or not to add more safeties to that 53-man roster toward the regular season. You put him on the back end, you bring him in the offseason, you sign him during free agency. I think that could be a really good asset just to have in this time, trying to figure out your new system here under a new head coach. And I got no problem with Maye. Yeah, he may not be at the peak in his prime in the NFL, but if you want to add depth, I think Maye is a good choice. With that being said, be sure to drop your comments down below, interact with me, and go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. We got a lot of stuff happening here in the offseason. I want you guys to be a part of it. Hit that subscribe button.